Hello and welcome. This is going to be my update to my Citadel gaming Rumble Battle gaming battle board, basically. This is not it. This is my old board. As you can see, there's some nice veins in it and some damage that is not intentional. Just going to move up a bit. Basically, it's two of these boards put together, and I believe it's in total a 6x4 table, but it's two boards. They are framed underneath. I might do a specific video. Well, I am going to do a specific video on the two different boards, and that will be coming up on, you know, whether you after the Should I Collect Warhammer video, which will be coming out in the next week or 2 weeks, which is a really good video in 3 parts. I've separated it so it's easier for you people to watch rather than sit there and watch in 40-50 minutes in one session, because I know not everyone has that amount of time, especially with the economy and things. So at the moment, this is just like a little overview of the current board that I was using and things. This large board. It's got no scenery on it, I do apologise. And now what I'm going to do for you is open this Citadel Rumble Battle board on the table. It's all painted. I'll show you how I, you know, have it in the bag. And I'm going to open it and then place it and show you it finished, which I didn't think I would do because I thought I'd do it in a battle report. But I think a battle report's going to take a good month or good couple of months to come up. So I thought I'd do this as kind of like an ending to the Rumble Battle board unboxing and review that I posted today as well. And here we go. I put the bag on the top of the board, so I'm just going to open it. So this is how I keep mine. How do you keep yours? I think this is a flat board, first of all, and already there's a little bit of damage, but that's fine, that's to be expected. You could open it a different way, but this is just one of the boards. I went for like a desert-y kind of board. Yeah, it's fine. I like it. It matches my models, but that's how I kind of organise it in here. So every tile that is touching face to face, you know, the top side, I have just a bit of old sheet. Well, not really that old, but I have a sheet to cover it, and that's to stop any friction. I know it's a tight fit in there, everything fits in quite well, but I have, as you can see there, I have these little tufts of grass, these Mordheim tufts that stick up, and I just have visions of them just being scraped off, and they're quite expensive, so that's the reason why I do that. And also with the hills, I don't want them rubbing together. But anyway, that's just how I store mine with these bits, these cloths. So I do have to remember which order they kind of go in. Don't know what that is, but and then if I just dump this over there somewhere. Whoa! We have a little bit of a landslide there. Literally just put one board and it's decided to kind of collapse, so I'm just going to go sort that out. That's the beauty of live recording. Be back with you in a second. Alright, thanks again, sorry about that. I've taken Gravity to one side, given him a little bit of a talking to, and he's promised me that won't happen again, so that's fine over there. This is one of the hill sections. There are four hill tiles, so this is one of the hills. As you can see, again I've put the cloth there to kind of as a little separator and give it a bit more protection. I'm going to put this one on my chair, and Just got to remember where this one goes. So this one is with the tile and the normal cliff. That probably doesn't make much sense, but that will for me later on. And the next hill sections are pretty much similar. So the next thing you're going to see is it all laid out in its entirety, in a fashion, just in a random fashion really. But okay, here it comes. And here we go. It's all set up. It's all put in a configuration that is pretty decent. I like this configuration with the hill in the middle. You're probably wondering what hill. Well, I'm just going to take you down on a little close-up now. That's coming up. So here we go. Here's the close-up of the board. You can see, love this big central hill here. All this area, big central hill. I'm just trying to show you the gaming board without all of the junk around it, because I know how how I find that's annoying. I mean, some people may find it interesting, the junk in one's place where they live, but I mean, I suppose it's gonna be incredible if you have a huge table somewhere, then and you've got the space, then you could probably have one of these out all the time. But it does give you that option of putting it in the bag. Now what I did here, I hate skulls. I really do hate skulls. I don't like what GW did by just, oh, we'll put something in these holes. The first thing comes to mind on their big list of 1,001 things they could have put is skulls, of course. And that's on every model, every scenery, you name it, is skulls first, questions later. And so what I did is I put some, you don't have to use green stuff. You can put filler or whatever you want to do. I used the hard green stuff. You know, the blue and yellow, I mixed that together and just kind of kneaded it onto the skulls using the sculpting tool. Just molded that on, and then the same for the larger dried riverbed, or not riverbed but dried like little lake. It just reminds me of like hippos and crocodiles and things in the real world, just like a dried up kind of little pond, or you know what I'm talking about, watering hole. And then what I did is used liquid green stuff on the top and on the sides of the hardened normal green stuff, putty. Now you're thinking, whoa, that's a lot of green stuff. It wasn't really. I didn't use a full blister pack of green stuff. This is for the whole board, so the big dried up watering holes I'm going to show you over there. I didn't use a whole blister pack. I had some left of a blister pack and I used it all up, but I didn't break open a new one. And with the green stuff, I think I used most of a pot of green stuff. So it's not that incredibly expensive if you want to do it that way, and it's an okay finish. Yes, you're going to get flock and grass in there, but I'd much rather it look like this than skulls. So I'm just going to take you over to the other side of the board, give you a different perspective. And just like that, we're over here. Detailing wise, I didn't really put much detail at all. I mean, I know I darkened these dried out places with the darker brown, and then just dry brushed it and added these little tufts of Mordheim tufts and things, which have held on quite well, just with PVA glue, no super glue or anything. And the same with this whole big mess of skulls. I turned it into like a dried out watering hole. The cliffs, I didn't put grass in between them, but obviously the grass or the flock from the board, spare bits get put in there anyway, naturally. So, I mean, you can put some little tufts and things around the cliffs, but I didn't, and it's kind of like just gone that way. But that's that's the board, completely finished. As I said in my review, I think it's an incredible piece of kit, and it surprises me why Games Workshop never made one sooner, because it's almost like they put the models and the fluff first and the rules, rather than, you know, gaming and playing it and stuff. But they eventually pulled through, and they do make their own gaming board. I'm not going to get in the whole debate on I'd rather make my own and it's much cheaper and all this lot. It's negligible. I've been there, guys. I've done that. I've worked at GW. I've made my own board when I was younger, and I've bought my own board. So I've seen it through all different sides, and they all have their pros and they all have their cons, and we'll just leave it at that. All right. When you're younger, even when you're older, it's your preference. If you prefer to make your own, that's cool. You know, if you prefer to buy one that you can easily put in a bag and takes up no space, if you are limited for space, that's fine too. There's no definitive answer on which one you should go for. It's all choice, and it's what works for you. And that's the same with all your model making, and it's the same for your opinions about the prices as well. It's all down to you as individuals. And but this is my board. This is my Realm of Battle board, completely finished. Nothing much more to say about it, really. I love it. I think I like the desert feel. It works really well with my army. The bases of my army are kind of like a deserty colour. I'll probably give you a few tips on the board itself, the way I made it, seeing as there's never going to be a tutorial video on how to do this board before again, and there's only a few on YouTube anyway, but I'll run you through some processes. It might be a bit boring, so you can just leave the video now if you wish, but I might have a recap at the end. Essentially, I got the board out, I washed it in the shower, not while I was having a shower, but I washed it with the shower head and bit of like washing detergent with a pad. Just wipe the boards down just to get rid of any of that releasing agent that they do have on their plastic models, as well as the the normal epoxy resin. Waited for that to dry, probably about a day. Obviously hand dried it as well, and then sprayed it, just one coat of Chaos Black spray. I think overall I used about 2.5 cans of spray. Buy 3 and you'll be fine. So yeah, I know that's going to be 30 quid on top of the board. You can use other sprays by all means, but I used Chaos Black spray, and then after they were all dry with that, I sprayed the sides as well. These sides, I didn't spray the underneath, but I did spray the top and the sides. Then when that was all completely dry, probably another day, I then got that brown paint, the big brown pot of paint that you get, and I lathered all of the boards in it, one tile at a time. Well, yeah, paint a whole tile, and while that one's drying, paint another one. So you're in a production line kind of phase. Yes, you're going to need space while you're doing all that, but by the time almost by the time I'd finished the last 6th board, I was ready to come back on the first one and do the second coat. And I do advise you to do that as well. Many people put a Purity Seal spray on the whole board, but I put 2 coats of brown. After that, I then put 1 coat on the sides, and then another coat on the sides. I suppose, if you look, these are thick enough to actually put a load of detail in. You could even put, like, I don't know, some caves, or, you know, like in Minecraft, something like that. You put like dinosaur bones, what have you. You can really spend a lot of time on this board. After the brown coats, I then dry brushed the whole thing. I think I used 1 full pot of bleach bone. I think it's called Ushabti bone colour now, and I used half a pot of one of them as well. So 1.5 pots. Literally dunk your. Some of the boards I used the flathead dry brush, and then that was showing too much brush marks. Specifically, the first board I did over there. So then what I did is just used a normal tank brush and dry brushed it with the things I was talking about. Then I used the talent in a bottle, basically the Agrax Earthshade wash to go in all the cracks you see. Put the kind of brown wash in there. Obviously, before I did the wash, I painted these a really dark brown, then dry brushed light brown, and then dry brushed a medium colour brown. Does that make sense? Probably. And after I did all the painting and the washing, it was flock time. Flock time, baby. Literally, no need to water down your PVA. I just dumped PVA on a tile, used a brush, and made some crazy patterns. It's up to you if you want to flock the whole board or not. There is enough there may be enough scorched brown to do most of the board if you leave out the large areas like some of the cliffs and these areas, the stone tiles, and these areas. There may well be enough, but you've got to be really conservative when you're throwing it on or sprinkling it on. Make sure you're on a mat or something so that you can easily scoop it up and reuse it on your board. Because I've got a lot left over. I split it into 2 tubs, and I've got a tub left. So I've got half of the scorched grass flock left. The normal grass, didn't use that at all. I might use that on the models. But after the flock, I then did these little Mordheim tufts. And yes, they are going to get a little bit squished in packaging. But as you can see, they're not that bad, considering they've had other boards and things on top of them. I think they're fine. And this board is ready to go. I won't bore you anymore. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, put a little comment, rate the video, finger bang that thumbs up button, and subscribe. It really helps me to do more videos like this, encourages me a lot more. And thanks for watching. The Emperor protects.